What's up, y'all? How are you guys doing tonight? I was about to say today, but it's not the daytime anymore. I was just in here laying here, right? And I started watching this beautiful documentary. Let me turn this off because I don't want to get a copyright. Hold on. All right, that's better. I'm pretty sure you guys can see with the lighting. So I'm just in here relaxing, right? Got my little bonnet on. You guys know I'm on my micro-like journey. You know what I'm saying? You see it under there. Anyways, that's not what this video is going to be about. I wanted to come and kind of talk to you guys about appreciating single dads, right? Okay. If you guys don't know, I have been a single mom for 10 years now, and I've been single the whole time, just focusing on raising my kids. And I have sat back and I've heard tons of commentary and even like, rested of sides and different little looks from family members or, people in the community, just even strangers, if you will, when you state that you're a single mom, especially single black mom, okay? So we know that we have a lot of negative stereotypes. You don't EBT, you ain't got nothing, da da da. We heard all of that, okay? We know. But I think that there's something that is kind of like not balanced in the conversation. And I think we hear so much hate of single mothers. We hear that don't be a stepdad, don't be a crash stepdaddy, and don't, okay, we already, and especially if you got a relationship, you married, you should be focusing on your marriage and not what single people doing. I think us as single mothers, it would be good for us when I do decide to start dating to date a single dad. And why do I say that? I have a few videos, a few clips I want you guys to watch and really watch them. If you have a bad relationship with your baby father or your baby daddy or, your ex-husband, right? Because a lot of women are single moms, not just because they were out here having sex and, fornication, all that, the way they like to shame you like this in the 1950s. Some of them were married, some of them were in long-term relationships and, it just didn't work out, right? Sometimes things just don't work out. So I wanted to look on the opposite end of the spectrum when it comes to the men. Okay, how do the men deal with dating? What do they think about? And it was very eye-opening where I feel that as a single mom, I would like to date a single dad. Or somebody that has 50-50 custody, like the dad that's making the peanut butter jelly sandwiches, that's really involved, like to day-to-day things. I think that that's very attractive, and I think that they really understand there's a sense of protection you have around your children, especially these guys in these clips that I want to show you. There's a sense of protection they have, and that we have as parents of our children. There's a sense of awkwardness, like a lot of them, to hear another, especially here, black men, stated in such masculine and a well thought out and a experience based opinions and basically facts, things, what I mean? Because these are things happening in their life about parenthood. It goes from motherhood, baby mama and single fatherhood, which I appreciate you guys, and, baby daddy, to parenthood. It kind of like it merges. So for me, I'm listening to these men. I'm like, that's the same thing that I was doing. And just watch some of the videos. It will really, really like change your perspective. Like again, let's look at this with unbiased eyes. Okay, if you have bad relationship with your kid's father, you can do nothing but pray for them. This is the best you can do, and this is what it is. My kids' dads is in my children's life. They, we don't particularly deal with, each other. They were older. It just didn't work out. And they needed to get with someone their own age, and that was personality meshed, right? It's just what it is. But listening to these single dads, and a lot of them are very attractive. Okay, I'm just saying. So go look on there. I really have a new found level of respect. I think it's sexy. I think it's thought provoking. I think that it's an unspoken understanding. I think I could hear the empathy in the men's voice. Like it's very, very refreshing. It's nice to hear. You know what I mean? I mean, it's okay if you have like my kids' dad, they get there on the weekend. I think that's cool and I respect that as well. But it's something about like a man that has their children full time and that involved. Then they understand, listening to the men say they didn't have the time, they don't have the restraints. They don't have the time, their time is restrained. They feel like they couldn't give the woman what she needed. Some women were biased against them and said they don't date men with kids. All of these type of things. And even some of the men saying, like how I've said, they said that it gets easier as the kids get older. One of the guys, his child was 14 years old. He's just not starting to date. So, I mean, of course, men gonna be getting it in, I'm not saying that. But as far as like them looking, they said some of them are divorced and they end up being a single dad. They said, I wasn't looking for another wife at the time. I wanted to raise my kids, or it just didn't work out to be mom, or she was on drugs, or what have you, whatever the situation, might have died. Anything could happen. You know what I mean? Life happens to everybody. So instead of this, bashing on the single mothers, and don't let the single mother, to the single people who don't have any children, maybe not. I think that I couldn't date a man who don't have any kids. Okay? Now, I've been single for 10 years, but I tried to talk to someone recently, and he didn't have any kids, and there was certain things that he just did not understand. And there was nothing wrong with him. It's just that it's best, us as women, sometimes it's best just to release those ones and let them find someone to kind of grow up in those areas. And if they don't want to grow up in those areas, they don't have to. Release them in their life because your lifestyles don't match. But it's something about a man with some kids. See, women find it attractive, and men look at it, well, that's the red pill community. Some people take the blue pill, the way of peace. You understand what I'm saying? And blue is the color of water, emotional intelligence. You know what I'm talking about? All right. And red is like the color of rage and anger and strife. And these women ain't going to take advantage of me no more. And I ain't going to be no simp. It's like, okay, God bless you. We're not talking to you. But I want you guys to look at some of these clips and just really, really look at some of these single dads. I really have respect for them. And I'm going to watch this the rest of the night till I fall asleep. It's very interesting to me. And don't just look at black single fathers. I'm looking at them because I'm predominantly black. I mix with other stuff, but I love my blackness. I love it. Okay? Team melanin all day. But it's very good to see. I mean, just for me, just sitting there like, oh, he cleaned it. One of them just showed, it was very funny. He just showed himself cleaning the living room up. I'm just like, it's kind of like I get a little peer, just to see a softer side, more, I don't know. It's just very nice to see, guys. Check these clips out.
Y'all, it's Jessie Wu, and on behalf of BLK and Black Love Exists, today we're going to be chatting it up with some single black fathers who are on the dating scene, but they're very dedicated to their children. Now, I was prepared to interview some daddies. I didn't know we was going to have some zaddies up in here today. They fine. I might leave here with a husband. But anyway, before we get into all that, gentlemen, please do us the honor of introducing yourselves.
My name is Q, and I have a 3-year-old daughter.
My name is Kevin. I have 2 boys, and they're 5 and 8.
My name is Isaiah, and I am the father of a 14-year-old son.
My name is Deshaun, and I have a 12-year-old daughter.
Okay. Now, have you guys ever experienced a woman telling you, I don't do dudes with kids?
They're pretty upfront about it.
Yeah.
In my experience, women, they kind of let it be known.
So let's talk about balancing fatherhood with dating. How do you balance both of those things?
It's a lot easier at this age than it was when he was younger, because again, I'm about to toot my horn for a second. I was a real life single dad, like the stay at home, like bathe, make breakfast, you know what I mean? Can't go out because if he see you leave, he's gonna start crying. Like, it was real difficult initially because, I can't give you the type of time that it takes to really build an adequate relationship.
I'll start talking to people, it's like, oh, well, when can you talk, or when do you meet? I'm like, well, I got my daughter this day, this day. Usually that, scales back, the who's available.
What are some negative perceptions that people have about black fathers that you just want to denounce?
I'd say the biggest perception is that I'm a part-time father, especially as a black man, that I'm not there for my daughter, and that's completely inaccurate for a lot of black men, honestly.
Deadbeat, for sure, number 1 on the list. To the point where the bar is kind of low, and it's a little offensive. They find you do anything with your kids. And
it's like, oh my God.
Yeah. Although we may benefit from it in the short term, that's bad for the community as a whole, that's a stigma.
Yeah, just, that you don't spend quality time with your kid.
Most of the times when you see fathers, it's like, you think the baby running around with the diaper on backwards, dinner is burning, and you know what I'm saying, the kid got the lampshade on their head, you know what I mean? Just understanding that, we know how to take care of our kids too.
Yeah.
That being said, I think I'm making my son a snack, a peanut butter jelly sandwich. Let's get right into it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Hope you like it. Yeah. Kristan.
What?
What invented peanut butter?
Peanut butter was invented by a black king by the name of George W. Carver in 1896.
Yes. Great job. You smart. Let's turn the light off. Who invented the doorknob?
Doorknob was invented by a black king by the name of Osborne Dorsey in 1878.
Yes. High five. You're smart. Krishan,
What?
who invented the fire extinguisher?
Fire extinguisher was invented by a black king by the name of Thomas Marshall in 1872.
Great job. What, Krishan?
Peace. Back, Black Fathers Academy, and today's topic is about dating and getting into new relationships when you have children. I've been inspired to do this because I've seen a lot of different things over the years. I'm focused on the fathers right now, but I've seen on both ends of mothers and fathers being negligent in the way in which how they bring a new person to their life, whether that's through, a friend, or eventually become a boyfriend and things like that. And we got to be very critical about who we allow into our children's lives. Our children are sacred, and that's a sacred space. And we should have a criteria of what qualifies a person to be able to make it to that space, to be able to be around our children. It has a lot of play on them psychologically, emotionally, and things like that as they develop. And you have children that have grown up into adults, and you might be one of those adults that have scars because of your parents or parent poor selection of certain people. But we focusing on fathers, right? So I think if you come to the realization that you're dating or you want to have a mate, or let's just say, for instance, you the type of brother that you have different women that you have sexual encounters with or certain things like that. I don't think your children should ever meet anybody like coming into your place or where you're at, where your children are at. I don't think your children should be meeting those women. I don't think, and not saying that those women are bad or anything. I just think that creates a lot of confusion, where as though it's like, my dad introduced me to this woman this week.
I stand with single black fathers. Why single black fathers, you ask? Because I am a single black father and have been for over 18 years. I've experienced almost all of the pain points associated with being a single black father. I don't feel like there's anyone more credible or qualified to speak to the pain points of single black fathers than me. As I stood in courtrooms countless times, whether it be for custody or child support, I couldn't help but to notice an unequal balance in the way we're treated, in the way we're spoken to, in the options that we have. Case in point, I've sat in the courtroom many times with my children's mother and heard the judge, saw the judge look and smile at the mother and speak in a graceful tone, and then look at me with an angry facial gesture and speak to me as if I were nothing. And it didn't matter whether I had a suit, business attire, or if I was dressed down, the treatment was the same. It almost seemed like the court system's avatar looked like me. So that's why there's no one more credible to be an advocate for single black fathers than me. I feel the stereotypes of people saying you have multiple children's mother. I feel the pain when people talk down about single black fathers. Regardless of how much we do, regardless of how much we fill in the gaps, it's still underappreciated. It's never enough. Well, I have 4 steps to help you as a single black father to avoid a lot of the pitfalls to make your experience more damaging or detrimental than it has to be. The first one is this: never speak negatively about the mother to or in front of your children. Keep adult situations separate from children, because those stressors, adult stressors in the mind of a child can be too
I do also respect the fact that they were so, like one of the fellows said that, you know, your space with your child is sacred. Your children are sacred. So he just didn't bring anybody. He was smashing stuff around his kids. Like, I haven't brought nobody around my dang old kid. So I respect to hear men saying that. See, you can sometimes have life happen to you where you will start seeing things through what happened to you versus looking at the other end of the spectrum. You can either focus on that or you can focus on what else is out there. Wow, they, you know, and you'll be surprised. You connect more with people than you don't. So as many people that is, you know, biased against you, there's people that are actually better for you and for you. So, and it's just, even just to hear the thought process is kind of soothing to my soul as a black woman. So I think myself, when I do start dating, and I tried before, but that guy, he didn't have no kids. And I just was like, he don't understand. I would like to date someone that has children. They have to have kids. You have to understand. You have to be able to understand that. You know, that mom tiredness, that dad tiredness, like that parenthood. You know, you have to understand, you know, budgeting your money and I can't do that this week, or I ain't have no time. Like, you know what I mean? It has to be like so down to earth, so empathetic, so much of a friendship and a kinsmanship that it just, you know what I mean? And then you have to watch my motherhood and I can watch your fatherhood and see, okay, does our parenting styles match, right? Because people have, you could be a single father and our parenting styles might not match. I may be too laid back in my parenting style than you may be, right? I may be more strict with cleaning than you may be. Or it may be areas where you're weak and I'm strong in the areas I'm strong in that you're weak in, right? That's just how it goes. So it's like a beautiful balance. So I'm not just saying just any single daddy, but I think that as long as they're not smashing the baby mama, because sometimes they be single, still be, you know. But I think that I'm just so happy to see this, guys. I hope this really encourage some of you girls and young ladies and my women's and my aunties, like my fellow aunties, myself, and even my grannies out there, just to look and see that all black men are not deadbeat dads. All black men don't have a negative, misogynistic relationship with their kid's mother. All black men don't have the secret rage that they have on the inside that they want to just take out on a woman. Some of them, like myself, had relationships with people that it didn't work out with, and they chose to honor their fatherhood, like we chose to honor our motherhood and raise their children. And then they also speak about love and time and stuff. So I think that it's just very beautiful. Peace.
10, and the questions are going to be around things about being a single father.
All right. Single black fathers, because, you know, you got to throw that out there, because single father, single black father, those are 2 different categories.
That's facts.
But, you know.
We want to make it clear.
Yeah.
Clear distinction. Okay, so let's just go for the jugular. Like, what is it like dating as a single black father?
Oh, damn. You wasn't playing. It's not as tough as I thought it was going to be as far as meeting people. And I thought when I first became single, and I got my kids full time, for those who don't know, but I thought it was going to be tough because I thought women was just going to pretty much shut me down as soon as they find out I had kids. But I quickly found out that that's not the case. So I would never lie, though. I just wouldn't bring it up unless, you know, they asked. And even then, sometimes I would try to avoid it. Because I'd be like, yo, get to know me. Because, you know, some women do cut dudes off for that, you know. And when I was first getting out there in the dating world, I wasn't looking for another wife, you know what I'm saying? I was looking to enjoy myself. So I didn't want to bring it up all the time. But now I realize, you know what? It actually works out in my advantage because, you know, women tend to look at a guy who could provide like that, who can hold down, you know, a home, who could lead, because that's what I'm doing. But I'm doing it from both aspects. So they actually respect it more. It's every now and again I might get a woman who doesn't want to deal with me because I have kids. But my kids are older now, so it would be a lot easier, you know, versus if they was 3 and 5. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's all right now.
Okay, so what's the most, let's take a little pivot. What's the most challenging aspect of raising 2 sons on your own?
Shit. Hold on, let me get these keys out of my pocket. It's tough because at the end of the day, you know, this world is hard on men, period. Especially black men. So I'm hard on them. Because I want to make sure they turn out well. That they tough.